For your first trip, what did you take and how much?
2 CB, do you know that? Oh yeah, pill. Like it's a pill, and you just swallow it, and then it's light visuals.
So I took 4 tabs of acid by myself,
That was your first
chilling out.
trip?
Yeah, that shit was wild.
That's interesting.
So I was given psychedelics. Forgot the name of it. It was like Asumia, Ayasuma. It
Oh,
was like Native American. I don't know.
interesting. Do you know like in what form it was in?
It was like a sickly brownish tar liquid. I had to ingest it.
It's kind of sounds like ayahuasca. Um, it's probably not though.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Ayahuasca.
So you've had liquid form of DMT. That's interesting. Why did you want a trip in the first place?
Cause I was bored as fuck.
And you
And I
just
was talking to my homie about it.
gotcha.
Hell yeah. I was like, yo, let me get 4 of those. He was like, all right.
But you better go home. I was like, why? He was like, cause you can't drive while you're on this.
That's
Alright.
that's pretty good
So I get
advice.
home.
I'm chilling out in my room. My walls start moving, and I'm like, yup. It's a good thing I'm not driving.
Fuck, start tripping out.
Oh, that's funny.
Experiences.
Experiences, curiosity.
More experiences. I like the experience with different kinds of drugs.
Okay, so that was like your first like psychedelic. Did you go on to do like mushrooms or acid at some point?
I've done truffles and
Truffles.
heavy psychedelic comparable to DMT.
My friends from college, they were like, "Yo, man, check this shit out. We got the shit from fucking the Amazon." I'm like, "Oh, really?" Well, sure. Then we boiled it. We cooked that shit up like a pizza, and then I fucking slurped that shit.
Go ahead and describe your first trip, your first psychedelic trip.
It was mostly when I closed my eyes, then I saw like movements of little figures and bright colors and shit. And I just felt very happy. It was like kind of ecstasy-like, but then with visuals.
It was fucking crazy. I was sitting in a chair after that. And all of a sudden, I felt my body levitating from the chair and hitting the ceiling. I was looking around left and right, flailing my arms like a fucking baby. I looked around. The room was like no longer a room, but now like there's stars and shit, like asteroids. I was floating in fucking space, like some kind of third dimension of some kind. Then I kept floating, like going into hyperspeed. Eventually, all the stars became lines, and I was zoom all the way, fucking ape shit. You know. This was like freshman year at college. I'm a junior now, so and then I looked down and went, "Holy shit, this is crazy!" And then I woke up on the floor, like on the grass outside my friend's house.
Damn. How long did this experience actually last?
Probably about like 30 minutes or an hour in between.
Okay, and how long did it feel?
Like a whole day.
Is there any trip that like stands out to you as like your best trip or like your favorite, or maybe multiple trips do?
Yeah, that was the one comparable to DMT because it was like I was out of the world. I wasn't there anymore.
Do you
I was like
remember
out
what
of
the
my
name of
body.
the name of that one was?
DOC.
Probably the first time I ever took shrooms.
Alright. So I went to a weed festival in Colorado. And it was me, my girlfriend, my brother, and his girlfriend. And so at this festival, right, there's like the weed booths and stuff, and it's getting kind of late, so there's lights and people dancing around. Other people are tripping out, having fun, you know what I mean? It's a festival. So out towards over here, the festival and all the cars over here, and there's this wooded area, and we're all just out there chilling out, tripping balls, looking at the stars, and we all just start talking about life and shit. It was a good time. I just remember that because we all just had really meaningful talks.
Have you ever had like one experience that's like your absolute worst, and could you describe that?
No, I've never had a bad trip.
Um, no, no, not really.
I was like trapped in that shit, dude. It's like in outer space. You can see like the gamma dusts, like space particles. And then the sound, there was like no sound at the first moment, but when I went to like hyperspeed, it's like a vacuum. Felt like I was riding a long lower roller coaster that never stopped. And it was felt like I had like a headache and shit. And then it smelled funny, like I had a weird sense. I think my nose was like fucked up because it smelled like raw steak or some shit. The next thing I knew, I woke up outside on the grass. The sun was coming up, like around 6 a.m. And I had to sit on the bathtub for like an hour or so to collect my thoughts.
How would you describe like the overall visuals?
Well, it was like the feeling of time and space was gone, and there were a lot of very bright colors. I can describe them, but it's like it was like a positive dream. It's really, really heavy, all so really cartoon-like and shit, and yeah, just cool.
Can you say in any way your trips have affected you, good or bad or
Yeah.
indifferent?
It varies. It's kind of both for
Both.
sure. Yeah, I would say it's better. I'm happier mentally and I'm healthier physically, but I've also pushed a lot of people away to get to where I'm at. And that kind of sucked, but it is what it is.
So kind of bad in a sense of like greater good, and like in order to do something that was good, you had to.
Yeah.
Yes. It's been like more than a half year ago, but now I start thinking about it more and researching it more. Um, and a lot of people describe and draw things that look the same as what I've experienced. So that's kind of creepy. Like I'm not the only one. So I think there's something behind it.
Has that trip affected you in any way, short term or long term?
Long term, very long term. I
How long
couldn't-
has it been since then? You said so, like 3 years. You were a freshman, you're a junior year, a junior now.
Yeah, affected me mentally. Mm, everything's fucking warped. And physically, I don't go out anymore. Like, I'm now big tub of fat and shit.
But you lost motivation.
Dedication too.
And is there anything that you would have done differently, knowing what you know now, having experienced those psychedelic experiences?
No, no. Nothing different. I like to do more stuff like LSD I want to try, and mushrooms I want to try. Smoke DMT I want to do, that's one time. It's like a lot. You have to be mentally ready for such things.
Now that I'm not tripping anymore, well, haven't tripped in a good minute. It's been like a full year and a half. I wouldn't have abused it as much. Like I was just taking it to trip out and have fun. I definitely would have used it in more of a healing factor for sure.
Is there anything that you would have done differently now, knowing what you know about it?
Alright, knowing that how long the effect was, I could have asked them for a second dose, because it was, looking back, it was kind of fun. Felt like fun.
Would you ever do it again?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is there any extra notes or stories that you'd like to add on?
Um, don't be pushed by other people to do psychedelics or any drugs. Only do it when you really know you are feeling great from the inside, because it will project what you're thinking. So if you're nervous or something, I'm sometimes am before I trip or whatever, but I'm just really relaxed after that. But if you're really nervous, you're not gonna have a great experience. So that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm mainly doing this for like awareness kind of purposes, like just because like a lot of people really don't know what they're getting into, and it has the
Yeah.
potential to be so good, but it can also be so bad
Yeah.
for a lot of people,
Yeah. Yeah.
or at least it has been bad for some people.
Yeah. It's amazing that you're doing this. It's when you do it with the right people and right
Mhm.
mindset, it's really life changing.
Not to be intrusive, not to be intruding in whatever is going on.
Yep.
But as you just said a minute ago, you're spreading awareness. Well, I do believe that is just such an amazing thing. Just because there are people I've met in my life who have fallen to this just because they didn't read into it, or they tried to follow up a high they had before and went wrong, and they've just failed so much further. And
Yeah.
with people like you actually spreading a message is just a good thing.
But also,
appreciate
it's
it.
like the different kinds of drugs. If you do psychedelics, it's not addicting. It's anti-addicting, and if you do things like weed or Keda or stuff like hard drugs, it's way more addictive, and it's like what you want for yourself. So, yeah. For yourself.
Have you
There we
had
are.
any experiences that you'd
Me
like to speak
myself,
on?
no.
No. Do you know anyone that's had experiences?
I have met someone who I have been there during one,
Okay. Yeah, that could work.
but I don't know exactly what was taken myself. I do believe it was mushrooms at the time. I was young-ish at the time, but I was still witnessing what was happening.
Yeah. Is there anything
Did not have a
that you
good
can
time.
know? Oh, you said that she wasn't having a good time.
Oh no, because they already had issues with things they saw and things. They thought maybe if they did this, it would change something in their brain, and well, it didn't exactly work. They, at the beginning of the time, they were sat there, just everything seemed fine until obviously we noticed it kicked in. And what they were telling us was every single person in the room had turned black. Not like as in skin, as in like just black. Like no features, nothing. Like the whole room had gone dark. Which we were definitely sure wasn't true because at the same time we had some very bright lighting on. And this was around the time a few of us didn't know they had taken it. And they had gone up to someone they knew and were trying to explain to them that something was wrong. But they were so completely off of it they couldn't explain anything, if that makes any sense. And they came up to me at one point, tried to explain. A lot of it was just gibberish at this point. And they were also drunk at the time as well, so it's kind of a mixture of just not working. And they came up to me, trying to explain, going up to other people, and at a certain point someone had come over and explained what had happened, and she had gone to sit down, which we had made her. She is just sitting there, completely tripping, she is out of it completely. What she explained afterwards was the entire time she was sat there, she could swear the entire room was moving around her. Which was insane to think about, and she had explained that the music that was playing wasn't loud, it was quite small, but to her it was as if she could feel it, as in it wasn't like just music, she could feel it around her. which was very strange to hear because we could see it happening. She was sitting there just staring directly at the it was like a Bluetooth speaker, I believe. She was just sat there staring at it for a very long time. And it was around this point I'm assuming the alcohol she had been drinking had kicked in, all mixed together, and she passes out. From that point onwards, I'm not sure what happened from there, but from what I learned, she had a very bad time, which she never followed up with again because, well, it scared her. You just need to be aware of what you're taking. Like, to some people, not saying don't take it ever. It's like, it's obviously just an experience, but it's like, just be careful. You just need to be careful what exactly you're taking. Read up into it. Some people just need to, like, learn everything before doing it. Don't just give in to what people say and then do it. It's not exactly a good idea. That's how people end up in hospital.